a mental asylum. That's what I wanted us to start our time with.
Yo. Twitter is the streets. Also, by the way, mafans wa Dolly Parton poleni. Sorry for your loss. She was a legend.
She was.
Yeah.
She was.
Yes.
But we all become fans when someone dies. You don't know the African way?
Of course, you're more popular when you're dead.
Of course. Then you're like, name 4 songs. They're like, Jolene, shut up. I'm like, another one?
Help. Google.
Yeah, so some cram lyrics, because I'm going to be like, complete the lyrics for a chance to be given some money by Stephen Ruhohi. He's back because we have said nobody is going to be left behind. No man shall be left behind. And
woman.
woman. Yeah. Our conversation from surviving to building. Last week, we got very great reviews about our conversation. I was like, that guy who came here to talk to us badly. That man who came here to talk to us badly and told us to act our wage. I will never forget. In fact, you need to print it on a t-shirt. And Stephen Ruhohi is a senior manager, growth and marketing, Kenya and expansion markets at Tala. But he's here in his personal capacity to just help us have this conversation. The link between financial well-being, credit, and entrepreneurship in Kenya. We sent you to go and do a deep dive so that you can come and help us, to have conversations around how to own property, where to invest. Everybody's putting money in property. We have these ugly skyscrapers. They all look the same. Beacon to beacon, zimejengwa, underground parking, musty, and just... Are we all putting our money in real estate in Nairobi or outside Nairobi? I've seen off plans at the coast that's also growing, but at the same time, there's the money markets. Money markets. So, are we playing in the stock exchange? What does that look like? What is that? In layman's language, because you're our money guy and. Yeah, I don't know if I asked a question. I'm sorry if I did not, but I'm assuming you are going to lead us and guide us appropriately, Stephen.
Awesome. First of all, Yolanda, thank you for having me.
Always. You'll come back another Wednesday if I will still be alive. It's
Such a pleasure. The task we have to do needs you to be alive. So hang in there. We're going to do this.
I love it.
Yes. And by the way, first of all, can we just start by saying... all the things we're discussing, no one's holier than thou. We have all made mistakes. We are all cleaning up our mistakes. Maybe that's why we are wiser than our ears, because we failed and we've learned and we're like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
I love that as a starting point, that you've not come to judge anyone.
No.
You are not better than anyone. None of us is. We are in this together.
We're in this together. And by the way, maybe we know because we say we fail, then we fail forward, then we fail faster until we get better.
I love that.
And then Yolanda, guys, has told me we are going there again. So please, guys, buckle up. This is going to be another fun one.
May I have my Maji here in case you talk to us crazy again? I have my water, my H2O. I hope Ashley is going to some water in the studio. Yeah. You'll have yours in case you insult us, ukituongelesha vibaya, and then you accidentally choke. Even your water is coming.
Very nice. I thought you knew me water so I can keep quiet.
No. I'm not that girl. I'm a good girl. Hey. Stephen, I'm a good girl. But
kabisa.
Talk to us.
Also, hot shoes, eh? You should see the shoes she's wearing.
Merci beaucoup. The shoe game is strong. But I regretted as soon as I told you my poison. We talked about everybody.
Your thing.
My thing is shoes.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to care about how much a pair of shoes costs. Like, I will go there. I'll go there with my salary. It's not too much, by the way. It can surprise you. It can all go in a pair of shoes. I love it.
So let me start by reframing with where you are at.
Yes.
You don't say, I can't afford it. You tell your brain, how can I afford it? So when you tell your brain, I can't afford it, your brain stops finding your solution. We have a supercomputer between our ears.
I love that.
So when you ask, how can I afford it? Even if you don't get an answer immediately, your brain is left to go in the background solutioning. You're sleeping, you're driving, go in the background. Imagine you always find a solution. So those shoes, how do I afford them? Not I can't afford them.
There's these Christian Louboutins, but continue.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That I wonder how I'm going to afford it without that phrase, ni God Monze. Like, for real.
Yes. So, I know you asked, last time we talked about surviving, getting or managing, rebuilding from debt.
Yes.
Let me do a very quick recap. Also, let me start with violence. Remember what we say. An emergency is going to come whether you are ready or you are not. So you're either prepared or you are not. And for many people, unfortunately, learning happens during a crisis. So you wait for the crisis to teach you how to manage another crisis. Versus learning from people's experiences, so you start building that muscle. When the crisis comes, it doesn't become an earth-ending, what do you call it, a life-ending event.
Yes.
So it's not tuition when you have to lose everything, then start from scratch. If the cost of tuition becomes your life falling apart in real time, that's not tuition, that's ambush. Yeah. And the whole point of today is to try and avoid that ambush. Yeah. Remember, you're saying how all our stories, the times you have failed, if you knew better, you could have done something. So let's recap from last week. We said, hey, first of all, have a minimum of 1 month of emergency money between you and life. Just give yourself a buffer. Simplify: food, shelter, clothing, and the ability to get yourself to a place of work. We even added in the insurance, even the one for 200 bob a month. It is something.
Yes. So
do that. Then we said, hey, you have to stop borrowing for consumption. Remember, we're trying to dig ourselves out of a hole.
Yes.
If we're trying to get out and you keep digging the bottom, it's a zero-sum game. So you have to decide, enough is enough. I'm not borrowing again, especially if I'm borrowing to consume. Even for business, remember, these loans come with inherent risk. So as much as you're hoping, I'll start this biashara and then it will give me this much back and then I will pay it back, God knows what happens tomorrow, right? Yeah. Like we can plan everything, plans of mice and men. Then tomorrow the world goes upside down and then...
Like COVID, for instance, a lot of us, and not just on an individual level, even institutions were caught flat-footed. Disaster management is not an inbuilt skill. Yeah?
And then see what happens. Any life catches you off guard. You didn't know what was going on. You were just side-slammed. And that's why it becomes a crisis. Versus what we're saying now is, if another COVID comes, imagine we'll be ready. If it never comes, we'll be sour. But we have learned in this life, every so often something comes around, we best be prepared.
True.
Then we also said, pay off this bad debt because it's going to follow you and it has interest. So it's like you're trying to run down a hill and then there's this massive snowball just chasing you down. It's going to take you out. So figure out how to pay that debt.
Yeah.
Then the last thing we said is create a budget, a realistic one, and then you stick to it. Now that we've recapped where we are coming from, before I answer where you're going, allow me to talk about psychology of money, because not the two of them happen together.
Thank you. That's the genesis, you believe. Everything, how you view and feel about money.
And let me unpack that for you so you see why it makes sense to start from there.
Yes.
You mentioned about business. Do you know, I went and did some research. Do you guys remember in 2013, 2014? Somebody talked about how he had a business for quail eggs and how he had so much demand he couldn't even satisfy it.
Quero. Thank you for that TBT. I remembered. Yes. Was it 2013?
It was 2013.
Okay.
So a certain newspaper did a feature. They said there's more capacity, there's more demand than supply. Guess what? It created a bubble. Everyone rushed in. People started selling chicken to put quail and quail eggs. What happened? The market got flooded. The bubble burst. Everyone went bust, or most people went bust. The funny thing is, the quail industry still makes you money, but also you can't be chasing after the herds. So the first lesson is, if you really don't know what to do, if everyone else is going right, Aki, go left.
Okay, I like that. When they zag, you zag.
Yes, if there's euphoria and nobody knows what's going on, Aki, don't follow the herd. I know that's what we were taught. It is safer to be in the herd. You're like, Apana, they can't take all of us out.
Okay, but that's kind of, I feel like that's hardwired in us, Stephen. Allow me to demonstrate kidogo. We are such a Me Too nation. Me Tooism is like, I think it's ingrained. It's almost put in our piped water. If you go to town, for instance, and you see one mobile money store, the green guys I can't talk about. I don't have that kind of money. You'll see everybody has done that. We like to Me Too.
Yes.
So do you think we are hardwired that way, or it's something that we can unlearn?
We are hardwired that way. Back then, those days of our ancestors, being part of a herd kept us alive.
Yeah.
So naturally, instinctively, that's why you follow people. I'll give you an example. Like you said, you start a car wash business.
Yeah.
I see you're doing well. Say open
next
one.
Yeah.
Then even worse, I open it next to you.
Yeah.
You charge 300, I charge 250.
Yes.
And so life goes. Yeah. The other part we say is, just because it's wired like that in us doesn't mean we can't break these patterns, especially when it's self-sabotage. Remember, we're not living in those days of caves and then going out there with a spear to go hunt and wearing loincloths and everything else we imagined life was back then.
Yeah.
So that's something we can totally unlearn. So let me go to the psychology of money. Excuse me. So imagine your earliest memory. Yolanda, let me ask you, because you're like my representation of the audience. What is your earliest money memory? And I'll give you some real examples. Imagine when money was tight when you were growing up. How did your parents react?
Me first, my mom never had money from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. In fact, I was like, these people need to learn. I don't know which financial institution they'll go to. I didn't know it was waiting for me, the same kind of challenges. But almost a subliminal scarcity mentality is what I remember.
See? And remember, young Yolanda at that time can't look and reason and say, this doesn't make sense. You can't look at the facts and arrive at a decision on your own.
Yeah.
So if you don't uncheck those beliefs you carry, guess what? They follow you into adulthood. If your parents, whenever money was scarce, communication broke down in the family. Look at what happens in your family. When money is tight, you don't talk to your person. If money was scarce and it became an emotional thing, you become more emotional. If it became avoidance, those are the things we end up doing. Not because we didn't know better. I'm just saying, when you are young, there's this operating system that was loaded into our brains, and we have to go back there and just question and say, who said when there's a little scarcity, life has to end? Yeah. Like, can we just separate the emotion from the fact? Give yourself 10 minutes, the emotion passes, so that your response is not hijacked by your emotions. That's all I'm trying to say. So we go back and see what was done there. Can you also talk about what did school teach us or not? By the way, did they teach us anything about financial literacy?
Hey, just continue.
Nada.
Yes.
So, you see already we are starting from negative. It's a disadvantage. I'm just saying is, all these beliefs we have, we were taught how to read, to write, to code, to market. No one ever taught us how to manage this money. So imagine you survived 20, 30, 40, 50 years running on the same software. Do you start to see sometimes some of the decisions you're making are not even yours, they've just been programmed in your head?
True.
Let's continue unpacking that myth. The other thing I'm going to say is, and this is something my friends always tell me, when I tell them I've invested in a money market fund, they're like, oh my God, Steve, those things are going to go down. Like, aren't you afraid of risk? What if?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, that's true. Can we first of all agree that risk is inherent? Everything is risky.
True.
Can we talk about, have you heard that quote? I don't know who wrote that phrase that says, being fit is hard, being unfit is hard. Being rich is hard, being poor is hard. Choose your hard.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with this is, being broke is hard.
Yeah.
Being rich is hard. So, can we just make peace with the fact that there's hardness everywhere? Just choose which is going to be your struggle.
Pick your hard.
Pick your hard. I say that because with money market, with any investment channel, imagine risk is part of the equation. It is built into the formula. Let me give you an example.
There's nothing that's risk-proof.
Nothing that is risk-proof. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go there. So you said you were going there.
Go there. We're ready for you. I'm sipping my water.
Yes. 2008. There was this gentleman called Bernie Madoff. Does anyone know the guy?
Yes.
So let me ask, if I give you two situations. One, imagine you invest in a fund where it goes up and down depending on how the market goes. Scenario two, someone, a fast stocker with all the right words like Steve comes, tells you, Yolanda, there's this nice new fund we can work on. I'm giving you guaranteed returns. You know, every month it is guaranteed. Even if it's not a lot, it's like a guaranteed 10% every month.
Yeah.
Where do you think people will go for?
You, the fast talker, this person who's giving me a guarantee. I like the word guarantee.
Yeah, it's guaranteed, it's stable. That's just how we are built. We are wired to avoid debt. Let's look at Bernie Madoff's example. Do you know the guy ended up with $65 billion?
Yes.
Guess what he did? For those who have no idea.
Yeah.
He pretty much just took your money and then I gave it to Lisa. Took Lisa's money and then gave it to Steve. Basically, it was just a pyramid scheme. I take from Peter to give Paul. And then because he was in the financial space, and then what he did was genius is not everybody could access that fund. Yani, you had to be selected. You had to be chosen. Scarcity mentality. Remember how we said these systems that run in the back of our systems, on back of our minds?
Yes.
So you know if I'm selected and I am worthy. And then you're seeing 5 years, or at least 5 months, 1 year, 2 years, consistency. Then look at who was investing there. Entire governments, regulators.
Yeah.
My point is, anything that comes across and tells you it is guaranteed and it is stable, Aki, that is a lie. Life is just not built like that.
I like that. I would want you to say that again, because many times we don't read the fine print. we take that word for it. Like, that person looked sincere.
Yes.
That person assured me. That person gave me a guarantee. Those are the buzzwords. Those are the words that, the bells, ring, and you're like, that's where I'm going to put my money, as opposed to go and read the fine print. Like what you're saying, nothing is fully 100% guaranteed.
It's like we see the risk, but when you throw in certain words, we start to de-risk it, or we start to convince ourselves maybe it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Someone in authority, someone who's got all the right networks, who is investing in that story. Herein comes my point. What I'm trying to say is, in life, everything comes with risk. So before you invest, I'll say, do your research. Don't invest in that fund that has only been there for 2 days. Look at the ones who've been there for the longest.
Yeah.
Look at the top 5. Look at their returns. Look at how they survived COVID. Look at how they recovered from COVID. By the way, pick up the phone and call them. You know what I did before I invested in that money market fund? I went to their office. I was like, I need to see who these guys are that I'm going to give my chums to. So that if it goes down, I know where the office is. I know who signed me up. I know where the receptionist is. Okay, mine's a crazy example, but you can imagine it's a matter of your life.
Yes.
And then, I'm convincing my people and they're following me. So I have the responsibility of the guys I've convinced.
Yes.
My point is, do your research.
I want to read for you a tweet here. She's actually one of the people who really enjoyed the conversation we had last week.
Yeah.
As someone who's self-employed, and they said, he should come back again so that we can see how we can explore these conversations and take them further. So Sarah Sash says, he said scarcity mentality, and it reminded me the way we become broke after finishing school. You might think we were studying Bachelor of Poverty and Applied Suffering.
Boom. Boom. Imagine, shout out to that. And I'm saying that, remember you're a supercomputer. Remember what I told, the opening line is, you don't say I can't afford it. You ask, how do I afford it? So who says you have to exit school and be broke? See, there are guys who in the US who create companies and they're like 20 something and they're going to be billionaires.
Yes.
Before Tal, I worked for Glovo. The guy who started Glovo is called Oscar. The guy was 22 when he started that company.
Wow.
Where do you think he is now? And it's all in the mind. Because remember that hard mentality? What do your parents say? God bless them because they love us, but they're like, Yolanda is a lawyer, so you must be a lawyer.
That's where the money is at.
Yes, this one is an architect, so you must be an architect. And they mean well, but they're also looking at, you also appraise yourself on the people around you.
Yeah.
But they said if you want to measure the intelligence of a person, look at his close 5 friends. Or if you want to know your net worth, look at your 5 people around you.
Yeah. And
that's the point. I'm doing crazy examples, but I hope they shock you into seeing the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, they are.
Aki, if you follow the herd, you're going to just end up like the herd. And that is the reason why, and I say with humility, Aki, everyone, if you don't do anything about it, you will just be the same person who lived, worked an 8 to 5, got a mortgage. Yani, you will just be there, forgotten, but also you will not have lived your life.
Do you think that's the safer bet? Like, you look at the variables and then you're like, anyway, I eat, I drink, it's comfort. Do you think, because what you're trying to tell us is to get out of our comfort zone? Because many of us are just okay with just being okay. Like, don't stir anything up, don't shake any tables. I'm comfortable.
Because we said we are going there, let me give you 2 answers.
Okay.
First things first. You go through life with a cup knowing how much is enough. Because if you look at billionaires, they don't know how to stop chasing. Yani, you get 50 billion, you want 100. You get 100, you want to be a trillionaire. It's important in life to know how much is enough for you. And that is different for Yolanda than it is for Steve. Let's start with that. Having said that, however, you cannot minimize yourself, kill your potential and your dreams just because it is safe enough. I don't think you guys heard me. If you wake up in the morning and you have a dream, you have fire in your chest. When you were a kid, you used to dream these crazy dreams. I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going to be a neurosurgeon. And then life comes to Angazi Kidogo character development. You get a C, and then you settle in, you're like, okay, I'll just take safe enough. Honestly, you die at 20, you're just buried at 70. That's not acceptable.
I love that. You die at 20, you're buried at 70. Because everything else has been on automation, right? You just Like a drone, autopilot.
Exactly. And let's even do this. If your dream is a simpler life, you haven't seen these guys on YouTube. They're doing back to farm. Someone buys a farm, they set up and they slow it down. I get that. I relate with slow intentional living.
Yeah.
But for me to say, I don't know, because my peers are struggling, this is as good as it gets, I kill my dream. Apana, not on my watch, guys. If you're one of those people, then please do what you want, but surely you owe yourself to at least try. And can we also say, these brands you're seeing displayed, the brands we love, you know, that was an idea in somebody's head. Imagine if they settled and said, this is good enough for me. You think we'd have them?
We can actually talk about this. My producer can edit it because they've paid for it. These diapers are from Bidco Africa. Bidco Africa would have been comfortable with making mafuta.
Yeah.
They make mafuta. They now make dishwashing soap. But they said, no, we want to venture into another space. In fact, when we had one of the directors here, Sanchita, sing, I told her, this is so ambitious. Where do you get off? We've given you our kitchen. Now you want to go to different rooms in my house. And she said, Yolanda, you always have to keep exploring, pushing your boundaries, seeing what more you can do. If one day Bidco is making cars, I mean, why not? Which is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Why be comfortable?
Exactly.
When you don't have to be.
Let me ask it another way. If your favorite company disappeared, does that mean you'll never buy detergent again? That's also another way of looking at it.
I like that.
Also, I was in FMCG. My career started at BAT, and you used to say, ideally, you want a customer, if they miss your brand, they go to the next shop or the next one. But realistically speaking, if the brand disappears, we stop consuming these things? Of course not. Look at the developed markets. How many brands of detergent do they have? Tons. Look at how many influencers the world has. Look at like US, for example, an influencer for every occasion and every season, and they still get an audience. You're saying content development is full. See, there are people, you go generate your own content. So guys are saying side hustle. Can you talk about how you can start YouTube and start generating content and you can monetize your channel? That is money that comes to you. You're having fun and you're being paid.
And it's passive income.
Right.
Like it doesn't take out of your 9 to 5 or whatever.
Guys said ideas. Look for the thing that makes you alive. No, like you. Shoes. Just start doing reviews. Those Louboutins you said. Anyway, I digress. But see where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Like
that I don't even need to have maybe capital, because sometimes, many times, what stops us, like for instance, I would want to have, passive and different sources of income that don't necessarily interfere with what I do. I don't work 9 to 5. I'm sorry. I'm about to hurt your feelings. My 5 hours work day.
Yeah.
You get, Stephen. So it's good to ask myself those questions, because I'm always, every time I'm thinking about maybe a side hustle, I'm like, okay, what am I good at? I'm an orator. I'm a storyteller. I'm the gift of the gap. I'm a speaker. How can I? Then I'm like, oh my God, another podcast. Like, is that the only route, out of my problems? Everyone has one. So I love that. In fact, one of my best friends is called Dwayne. Dwayne told me, how many TV stations are there? Don't you still watch the news? Like, what's your point? Because I was like, I'm not going to have a podcast. And he's like, maybe you're telling yourself that because, anyway, I'm going further.
Yeah.
But I like what you're trying to say. Continue.
And the thing is, imagine, bring your difference, bring your magic to this podcast. Like, don't copy. Don't be another 50th podcast that does exactly the same thing everyone's doing. Like, add your spice to it. See the guys who stand out. Be authentic. Be original. Look at tyrants. We don't have to like them, but you have to admire how they had the guts and they stood for something. And when you believe in something, imagine the world follows, the world adjusts. Back to what you're saying, that side hustle. Let's say the guys who are listening is our people of working class. If you're an accountant, every June, so we have to file our returns.
Yep.
So you just start like a consultancy like this, you just collect those two small, just charge Yolanda and Steve small money to file their returns, and you make money. This is something you can do in 2 seconds. You like nails is your thing.
Yeah.
See, you go train people, you deploy ladies to come and do nails in your house on a Saturday. Or look at every estate. Kids have to get their hair cut. I have to get my hair cut. You have to get your dreads. What's the word?
My sister locks.
Yes, your sister locks.
Retied.
That one. Yeah, they have to be retied. Someone has to do it. And who says you have to go and queue for 2 hours? See, you find someone, send them to somebody's house. I'm just saying, start with what you have.
There's a message that has come here I need to read for you. Tina Masese says via Facebook, don't follow the hard, only works in World War Z, right? I'm a Walking Dead. Aki, there should be a financial literacy class for Gumbaru by force. This is so relatable.
100%.
What you're saying.
And Because I hope, by the way, first of all, can we say,
she's also another business owner. Yeah, I
shout
told you,
out.
may I speak to work folk? I'm the only broke person in the room. Oh, I used to be. Thanks. Sorry, Steve.
There you
Before
go.
you tell me, I used
Yeah,
to be.
yeah.
I used to be. Teresa Omboka says they're tuned in from Madare North. They're also,
Wow.
they're listening. Just go ahead.
Shout out.
I think today you're talking to us. You're
Imagine.
speaking to, even the last time you did speak to us. So
Yeah, shout out to you guys, first of all, for even having the courage to get up every day and do it. I know business is not easy. You guys chose your hard. You know, there are guys who have amuad. Me, I'd rather make 50,000 shillings a month, but I work for myself, than make a meter working for someone else. It can't be easy. Can I also just say, to give you guys some kidogo encouragement, look at the top 100 richest people in the world. How many of them are collecting a paycheck? How many of them are working for someone else? Imagine you guys are onto something. And I'll come back to you in a minute. You guys are not shikilia maliuko. You guys are onto something. And by the way, we're in that space. We work during the day, our 8 to 5, and then on the side, we're building something. I'm right there with you guys. Where was I? The other thing I'm going to say is, so let's imagine you talked about investment.
yeah,
So you have finally saved that emergency fund and you need somewhere to put it.
yeah,
Let me start by saying, start with what you know. By that I mean, if you're going to invest and you don't understand what you're investing in, imagine just walk away. Let me give you an example. Sam Altman. The guy was called Sam Bankman, the guy for FTX.
No, I don't
For those guys who are not in tech, that used to be the largest, or one of, I think the second largest, top 3 largest crypto exchanges in the world. They're kind of like Binance.
yeah,
If you want to buy and sell crypto, you can go to their platform and you can buy your Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all those other things.
yeah,
You know how excitement starts to run and then everyone's like, this is a new genius, he's doing everything. Similar to that Madoff story, did anybody pay close attention to what was going on? They're
No.
like, this is a child prodigy, like he's doing amazing things. Turns out that company was mismanaged like hell. And then they declared bankruptcy. Basically, I'm generating my own Bitcoin or my own coins, and then I'm selling it to people, and then I'm working with my friends. There is zero structure whatsoever. It's a very interesting documentary.
yeah.
My point is, if I don't understand crypto, why am I investing in stuff I don't know? Like if you're really stuck, start with the brands you love. See that phone, Team iPhone, Team Samsung. So you just buy shares in Samsung or iPhone. You can do it from Kenya. There are Kenyans who've created apps that allow you to buy shares in the US directly from here, from your phone.
Really? So
Yes.
you're not big on diversifying or maybe venturing out of your comfort zone with your investments?
I think we're getting there. Let me talk, and by the way, this is just my opinion. And and the advice is exactly what you paid for it, 0 shillings. But I hope I hope something can help.
Yeah, you get exactly what you paid for.
I know.
No, I love it.
But also some of the most in life, if something is a bob, either it is useless or it is what's the word, invaluable. So
Yeah.
hopefully we are leaning towards
No, I
invaluable.
love thought-provoking conversations. I don't have to have paid for it, and I feel like the payoff doesn't have to be directly the same amount as
Boom.
what I put in.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, I like where you're going with this, because you're saying to reduce our risks.
Yes.
It's better because you're not going to sit somewhere and then someone gives you some construction jargon.
PowerPoint.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So you see, now I don't even understand. At some point, I'm like, hey, this person has lost me, but I don't want to look foolish. And I have the money, and he sounds good. He's eloquent. He has the numbers. He has, he's armed to that, Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Then the graphs are going like this. Aki, we may not understand much, but when it's going up, we are like, bus, itaendelea kupanda.
Yes.
Aki, but look at the stock market. It's up and down and up and down. Look at the
fluctuates.
financial crisis, 2008. Look at what happened. This is also like lesson number 2. For those who choose to invest in the stock market, the only time you lose money is when you sell, when you lock in your losses. So imagine 2008, you wake up one day, I don't know, pick company X. Let's say their share is trading at $50. Financial crisis hits, what happens? Everything that was at 50 goes down all the way to 10. Guess what happens? This is money you have mad for 6 months. This is the money you have put aside to cushion you between you and life.
Yeah.
What we were saying, put a gap between you and your emotions. What happens when your parents had a financial emergency and they panicked? You panic. You're like, hold up. Then the statement shows you've lost 1 million shillings. But that's on paper. You haven't lost. You haven't sold it, so you haven't locked in your losses.
Yeah.
Then what's worse? Yolanda is selling, Lisa is selling, Steve is selling. I'm like, Miss Yatri, I sell.
In panic.
That's what everyone did. Okay, not everyone. Most people did that. Now remember the person who has built a habit of every time I get paid, I'll be buying shares. You're like, okay, you give yourself 10 minutes, give yourself an hour if you must. Separate the emotion, feel the emotion, but let it pass. Once it has petered, then you can go back to thinking, where do we go from here? Look at what happened. After 1 year, actually the guys who continued buying, that share you bought for 50. Can you imagine now if you continue contributing? Basically think of it as, let me reframe your point of view. Those companies you love, that is the only time you'll get a discount on the shares you like. That's exactly what happened. The guys who continued contributing, where 50 would get you 1, now 50 gets you 5. 1 year later, 2 years later, see, everything recovers. And this is money for your retirement. This is money for later.
Yeah.
So everything that went down not only recovered and rebounded. So the person who didn't sell, imagine they didn't lock in their losses.
I like that. Because most of the time we panic. Yeah. So in that state of panic, you're not thinking long term. And I like what you've said, that it's not, you've not gone at a loss if you don't sell.
If you don't sell.
Okay. So who guides you? For instance, maybe let's not even go far. I don't have a lot of money. I have 500,000 shillings and I want to do something with it. Where do I start? As me, Yolanda Mulo, the only thing I know between me and, in fact, I slept through business education class in primary school. Yeah. So I don't know where to start. And maybe everyone's talking about money market funds. Everyone's talking about, where does someone start without guidance from probably a pro?
Boom. Okay, I love that question because so many of us are in that space.
And if someone's 500,000 is like little money, or if someone is a lot of money, so we're just having a conversation.
Yes. So let's even use that 500K just so we have an amount to anchor and guys can see how it moves up and down.
Yes.
Can I also just go back and say, because it's still as much psychological as you can see. You're trying to control the chaos out there, but internally, you're still like chaos. You have to steel yourself, or you have to have such financial awareness or discipline, such that if the world out there people are setting themselves on fire, you're not going to do the same. So I know it's about money, but if you can't discipline yourself, remember we were saying one bad day, after the world has twangered you, you go and you wipe out your emergency fund because you deserve it and you've earned it.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with this is, remember we have that budget.
Yes.
Bare minimum, take 10%, if you can even 20%. Every month, throw it towards, call it investments, or like your future. Call it like future money. Can also give you another psychological hack. The person you pay first is the person you work for. Let me give you an example. When your salary checks in this week or next week, pay yourself first. That 10%, imagine pay yourself first. It tells your brain you're working for you. Do you understand? Because you'll pay the landlord, you'll pay everyone else, you'll do the shopping, then whatever is left, then you remember yourself. It also does a second thing for you.
Yeah.
If your budget was 100 Gs and you've removed your 10K or 20K, you're left with the difference. And now you have to live in the difference. So your future is not a T. If I get money when I get money, you're being intentional from the start. Come what may, we must fund our future. Tumelewana. Like, pay yourself first. It is as much psychological as it is. You're like, but I'm not a business owner. For me, 10% is 500. Mother 500 Bob we talked about. You have paid yourself. 500 today is not 500 tomorrow.
True.
So you have that money you have put aside. So hopefully some money has backed.
Yeah.
What I would do is, remember you went to school and you were empowered. You were taught how to read and to write.
Yes.
When guys come at you with good English or big English and examples and all these things, if you haven't done your homework, everything sounds good. So you take what they're saying, then you go critique, you go look for evidence. You just go critique that argument. By that I mean, go and do your research. If I want to start a business for quail eggs, say just go check, Abu. How much is a quail egg versus a chicken egg? What about supply? What about the market?
Should I look for a quail farmer? Because last week you told us that we need to have somebody who not only inspires us, but someone who can check us, course correct, when we are getting off course, and someone who has made it, or is very good with their money, who can be, what did you call them? I forgot what you called them. There's a phrase you used last. Like a mentor, like a financial mentor.
Yeah.
So I have 500,000. So I'm supposed to go and sit to this mentor and tell them, if you had 500,000 shillings, where would you put it? No.
First things first, do your own research. Come to me with 500,000. Me, I'll give you my ideas, not what you want. Sio?
Yes.
Higher. So go do research, and you're like, by the way, this quail business makes sense, but maybe not now. Maybe something like chicken makes more sense, or kienyeji. Let's say you want to set up a hardware. You start doing research. The block you're on, there are 6 other hardware shops. A 7th won't make a difference. Versus across the road on the other part of town, there is no one. And then suddenly you see, you're just understanding what's the opportunity out there.
Yeah.
Where this other person who's doing what you're doing, go pay them a visit, go see how this system of theirs is working. See, someone says they're a farmer. See, and by the way, most farmers even allow you to go do benchmarking. Tell me, how did you start? What were your mistakes? Are you making money? What does that look like? Do you know, by the way, someone who's building will never kill your dream. It's the ones who are seated down doing nothing that pull you down.
True.
Give you an example. Me, I grew up at the coast. At least my childhood was spent at the coast. You know, if you catch crabs,
Yeah.
if you catch a crab and you put it in a bucket without a kifuniko, it's going to climb out. But if you add a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you don't need to funika. Why?
They bring each other
When
down.
one starts to climb, another one pulls it down.
Like Rudy Apa. Misery loves company.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And this is where when you start building something, please keep quiet. Don't tell people what you're doing. You build, let the results speak for themselves. Because when you start building, you hold up a mirror. I will say, hey, Yolanda, you know it's risky, but what I'm saying is, anyway, if Yolanda can do it, it means I can do it. I've chosen not to do it. So I'm projecting my insecurities on you, and I'm telling you, people are failing. And what's worse, these are our friends and our family, so they have access. So their words land with impact. So when you hear it, imagine you believe it. By the way, build in silence. Once you have something that can stand on its own, by the way, if you have to talk, tell them after you have done it, not before.
That's true.
Another psychological bit. Have you had a nice idea? Then you explain it to your friend. Then you're like, after you're done, you're like the moto azishad.
It's suddenly not a good idea, but it was a good idea to you.
Before.
Yeah.
If your friend is even supporting and they're like, go for it, you can do this. There's how the mind works is before you create something, when you have that idea and you're inspired and you're researching it, it builds that fire inside of you.
Yeah.
When you tell it to someone, your mind rewards you with there's a hit of dopamine. Just tell you, well done. So it gives you the feeling you would feel as if you have created the business when in actuality you've done nothing. So as you talk about it, the fire you need to build that business is uko ishaishaing. And what's worse, if Steve has the capital and God knows he moves fast, 2 months, you'll pass by your house, you'll be like,
I told that person that idea.
and he did it. Another reason why you shouldn't tell people. I'm not saying the right people. So I know I'm going round and round, but let me come back to where you are.
Yeah.
Haya. Please, if you're building, and for our businessman, our business people, let me give you some kidogo encouragement. Expect resistance. I know you start building in an ideal world, everyone will encourage me, Ma will come say this, Yolanda will be like, big up Steve. Yeah, I don't know, people you don't know. Life doesn't work like that. Guess what happens? When you start to build, so you're holding up a mirror for us. I'm like, Yolanda is actually getting wealthy and she's going to leave me. So I actively start, first of all, we ridicule you. We make fun of you. Then we envy you when you finally make it.
Yeah.
So my point is, people don't attack anything that is going nowhere. When you're just over there talking ideas, you're like, this one is a toothless dog you can bite. But when you start to make progress, and people are saying, by the way, Yolanda is actually moving. Yeah. That shoe business is now expanding from Nairobi to Mombasa. Now it's online. Now you're selling shoes even to East African community.
Yeah.
Guess what happens? People start to attack it. Not in a bad way, because you know finally you're doing something that is worth defending.
Yeah.
And can I tell you, the guys on the other side, your energy can only be spent so many ways. You can either build or you can defend. I'm telling you this because I'm also in the building space right now. And when you start making progress, that's when challenges, who's pulling the rug from your feet. Now imagine if your drive or your support system is external. Imagine if it was your spouse. Then God forbid they leave you. So now do you stop your business?
No.
You have to find a way to keep yourself going, to run the engine internally, even if everyone else falls apart. Imagine you don't give up on your business. Can I add something else before we take a breather?
Yes, please.
When you start building, I was saying you can either build or you can defend. This is what tends to happen. And building is a lonely journey. Our business people, imagine me, I feel your pain. You know, there comes a time, Yolanda, You even start asking yourself, Yani, did I bite off more than I can chew? Then you start to reminisce. You're like, that 8 to 5 of mine, once I clock out at 5 or 6, I don't have to deal with this stress. It's a very lonely journey. And there comes a point in your building stage, your business Paul, you know this. Yeah. Shout out in the comments. Aki, where you start second guessing yourself, you're like, maybe I should quit. But let me tell you something else. When your mind starts to do that, guess what you do? You create a plan B. You're like, if everything else fails, you can just go to work. So see, remember you're setting up a business. You have taken that 500,000, we are setting up an electronics shop in Kitui. See, now you're focused. If all your energy is looking that way, people start attacking you, then you start thinking about a plan B. So part of you is going forward, you're building, but also your mind is glancing back to make sure that that backup plan is still there.
It's still there. Should things go belly up?
So effectively, you're moving forward and you're moving back. And what happens? You go nowhere. The last piece of radical advice I'll give you, and this one, take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Imagine burn the ships. By that I mean, as a gentleman, one of those people from Muko Kitambo 1519.
Yeah.
His name was Hernan Cortez. I had this in a podcast I love. These guys were those explorers. They just landed in Mexico, new country. You know how they have provisions, blah, blah, blah. They know they're going to take them for, 2 months. They land in this new country. Their provisions have run out. Guess what this guy does?
What?
He looks at his soldiers. They're miles from home. They can't call for help. He turns and guess what they do? They burn their boats. They destroy their ships. And you have the local community or the inhabitants who are coming for you. Guess what happened?
What?
Soldiers who are scared, they were like, you know what? There's no backup plan. This is it. Either I leave or you don't. Guess what happened? These guys found courage. People who are weak, people who didn't know what to do, they fought like their lives depended on it. My point is, forget that backup plan. Put 100% of your energy in front of you, and you will be surprised how fast you move. So business people, hang in there. I know it's hard, but hang in there.
Tina says on Facebook, 100% build in silence. People cannot destroy what they do not know.
Boom. Boom. All right. Are we together, guys? Like, burn the ships. Yani, you give yourself only one option. Another example, be delusional. Remember this guy called Alexander the Great?
Yes.
First of all, what kind of a name is that? The Great. Why are you not like Yolanda the Great? The guy was delusional. In his delusion, he actually believed he was the son of Zeus. But look at what he did to people around him. His soldiers believed it. The guy didn't just say it. He actually believed it. He walked it and he believed it. Yeah. See, the soldiers knew us we were fighting with a demigod. Yeah. And they went in there and they fought like crazy. Then look at what the community said. Hey, this army, and this is the son of Zeus. They're coming at us. We have no choice. We have no chance. People actually gave up the idea of fighting because they thought, this guy is coming this way. And that's why he conquered most of Europe. Yeah. Aki be the Lulu. I'm not saying like in a crazy way, but I'm like, when you have that idea and you've done your research, Aki, commit. Go with it. 100%. There is we've burnt the ships. You can't go back. How can people scare into retreating if there is no plan B? And then can we also say, human psychology. People recognize patterns. They don't recognize words. Words are cheap. We can say what we want. But if Yolanda proves time and time again, yani you hit her, she gets up and she goes. You twanga, she gets up and goes. People choke her. Your enemies are like, just leave her alone. She won't get up and go. Exactly. And that's what you do. And every brick you lay when you're under fire counts more than when it is peaceful. Because you're telling yourself two things. I can continue to build. And you're telling your haters, the world out there, come what may. This ship is not stopping. We are Delulu. We are locked in. Alexander called himself the son of Zeus. You find a title that works for yourself. Stephen
Ruhohi, we have 1 minute to the top of the hour. My goodness, I could listen to him every single day. I feel like we need a part 3. Oh my goodness, we need a part 3. But I love the psychology of money. This was definitely a curveball. A much needed curveball. Yeah.
I have a parting shot.
Please.
Aki took so long. I didn't know an hour is that short.
It's that short. And then we had visitors.
That 500,000. This is what you do. Look at the guys who survived and held on to their money. Look at the Jews. They survived World War I, World War II. Economies come, presidents go. Do not put all your investment in an industry or in one industry. If the industry goes down, all your money goes with it.
Scatter your forces.
So they had 3 places where they put their money. It's important to know this. Number 1, assets. I would say land. Yeah. See, inflation is going up. Cost of land does what? Goes up. Imagine have some land. Besides, they can make more land. Unlike money, which they can print. Yeah. Number 2, I'd say start a business. a business because it brings in flow. If you have to exchange 1 month of labor for 1 month of income, my friend, what happens when you stop working? You're imeenda. Number 3, the other part, 30% of that, divide it into thirds. The remaining one, hold it like in cash. That's what you can put in a money market fund. Part 3 now.
Oh, I love it. And right on the clock. In the next 30 seconds, Suleiman is going to come and tell us what's going on in and around the 254. Stephen Ruhohi, not a stranger. We are definitely going to have you here again on Wellness Wednesday because I want my pocket to be well. So thank you, Stephen, and hope to see you soon. Suleiman, are you taking notes? God, man, say I'll be rich by myself if you're not listening to the show.